Hi, everybody. This is Rami, like Do Re Mi, best-selling author of Living Life as an Exclamation Point. And boy, have I been waiting for this interview. Today, we're talking to Katie Humphrey. She is an author and spokesperson, and she tells us to embrace our inner rebel and create the life we love. Can I just say how much I love that? And today, we're going to be talking about the 5 best-kept secrets to revolutionize your identity. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Remy. How are you?
It actually might be afternoon where you are.
It is. It's about 2:30 here.
Yeah, you're in Florida, I'm in California, so we have the best of both coasts.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's great to
So,
be.
thank you. So, tell us what you got going on these days. What are you up to?
Like Remy said, my name is Katie Humphrey. I am an author and a spokesperson. My new book, Revolution of You, does teach women who are overwhelmed and stressed out and busy and exhausted. I know you can't think of anyone like that.
No.
And it it helps them embrace that inner rebel, shift their beliefs and their identity, and create a life that's meaningful to them so they can feel confident, fit, and motivated. That's what we as women really want. And I am the spokeswoman for an international company. It helps women, with nutraceutical approach, really restore their health so that they can get on with their lives and feel better about who they are.
Well, I got to tell you, I loved crawling around your website at katiehumphrey.com, and that's Humphrey with an EY. And you know what I loved most was your blog. You had so many interesting topics in there.
Thank you, Remy. I appreciate it. My approach, really, in a little bit of my background story, why I got into this, because I think it's important to understand why people do what they do. In my earlier life, in my earlier 20s, I hung out with the wrong crowd. I got into a lot of trouble. I never liked who I was. I never felt good enough. And the funny thing at the time is that I was, in shape back then, had a pretty decent job, was in a decent relationship, but frankly, I was living a mediocre life. I was miserable. I hated everything about myself. I was always looking at what wasn't good enough, what could I improve, and something happened. I started hanging around people who, drank and partied and smoked and did things like that, got caught up into it, had a good time at the time, got into a lot of trouble, and at the same time developed a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome. I gained 30 pounds out of nowhere, and basically my health ballooned into a syndrome that was kind of like being premenopausal in my 20s. So when that happened, Remy, I decided that I needed to make a change. I felt like I hit rock bottom emotionally, physically in my relationship, was going through a hard breakup. And I decided I can keep living this way and settling and feeling miserable about who I am, or I can choose to change who I want to be. Why do I have to be this person who doesn't like myself, who doesn't like other people? I can shift and be whoever it is I want to be. And that's when I decided I wanted to be someone who was passionate and motivated and energetic and kind to other people and cared, and someone who was healthy and fit and appreciated and loved her body, who had a job that was impacting the world, who was writing books, let's say. And back then I thought writing a book was just never going to happen for me. And I wanted to have relationships that were meaningful, Remy. I mean, that's what I wanted my life to be. In that moment, and I decided, my life started to change. And that's when I pursued a holistic approach for my health. I overcame the condition, wrote a book about it, and that's why I'm the spokeswoman for that company. It helps women who have the condition that I had. And been married for 3.5 years now to my biggest fan, the love of my life, started a business and grew it, just really helping women and young teen girls feel confident, fit, and motivated. And now my newest book, Revolution of You, is really my way of reaching out and spreading that message as much as I can. And I just love it.
It's so awesome. You mentioned a buzzword a while ago that caught my attention. That's leading a mediocre life. Because one thing I've noticed in my work is you can have or be the most successful woman and still end up feeling mediocre sometimes once you reach a certain level. And I've
Yes.
had women come to me and say, I have all this money, I have this life, but it feels so mediocre to me. But what right do I have to complain about it? Because by all rights, I have all this success. So you're talking about revolutionizing yourself really no matter where you are.
No matter where you are. And here's the deal. I've worked with a lot of women as well, Remy, who maybe they make a lot of money. They may have a great relationship. They have a great job, career, profession. I've even worked with women, this is the best, who are in the most amazing shape, but they still have complaints because it's not about the stuff that you have. It's about how you feel inside of yourself. And truthfully, even if you have reached a level of success, there's more for you. There just is. But you have to change now how you feel on the inside, because these women who have created those fit bodies, who created that financial success, that business success, whatever it is, they were creating that because they thought it would give them something, and it didn't. And the truth is that you are never going to find what it is that you're looking for. And that's going to be one of our secrets we'll talk about, because it's not out there. And the things that we get, like the fit, healthy body, whether it's the money, the traveling, the person in our life that makes us feel great, the difference we're making, those are just bonuses. Those are a byproduct of revolutionizing that identity from the inside out.
We like the bonuses.
We love the bonuses.
So let's get rolling into your best kept secrets and start with how do you revolutionize your identity?
So starting with the best kept secrets, and these are going to be very simple. And I like simple because if it's complex, you won't do it. You'll feel overwhelmed and you're not going to follow through. The first best kept secret is that if you do not, what I tell women, claim your stake, if you do not claim your identity, the world's going to claim it for you. A health condition, past mistakes that you've made, toxic relationships, whatever's going on in your life that's negative, that's going to define who you are if you don't first define it for yourself. So what you need to do is just to make a decision right now to let go of the baggage, decide who it is you want to be. Women never sit down and say, who do I want to be? They look around and they'll say, Remy, Katie, I have these terrible things going on in my life. Let me tell you, here's what I don't want. I want no more of this. I need more money. They tell you all these things that they don't want and what they're lacking. They haven't decided who they want to be. First step, decide who you want to be.
It's so funny. I remember back in my 20s, I dated a diabetic, gorgeous man, professional model. Did I say gorgeous? I mean, seriously. But but this diabetes ruled his life to seriously an unbelievable level. And I remember the day I said to him, who would you be if you weren't diabetic? Because that made up 100% of his life. It was crazy.
That's right. And what's interesting about that, Remy, is that the condition that I had, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, leads to diabetes. And I've seen a lot of those women, I've explained to them the reason why you cannot overcome this condition, because frankly, before I did it, I never heard that anybody could do it. I was undiagnosed last summer with the condition, and I have had it since I was a teenager, and I never took prescription drugs, which is the only medical protocol for it. And I tell women, if you don't give up that identity, how are you going to get over a condition that you're always talking about that defines your life? And truthfully, it scares some people to think, who am I without this person? Who am I without this health condition? Who am I without this job, without this money? Who am I? They don't know. And it frightens them because they haven't taken out the time to decide who it is they want to be.
Yeah, touche. So, okay, so that's good. So claim your identity. So talk to me about number 2.
So number 2 is that the answer that you're looking for in the solutions, and this is kind of what I alluded to before, is not in what you're looking for. People are looking for this new identity in another person, in the money, and they try to find it in food. They try to find it in alcohol. And there's nothing wrong with a glass of wine, but I watch people try to find it in these social settings like I used to. That's who I was. I was Katie, the fun one, the partier, and all these things. You can be the fun one, not be the partier. And you're looking for them in all these outside things. And the truth is that who it is you want to be, that answer, the solutions to your problems, the results you want, it's all within you. All you have to do is access it. And without that sounding extremely woo-woo, all you need to do is be quiet. There's a lot of noise going on in your life, a lot of people, TV, radio, news, and you need to quiet that down. You need to take time alone and start journaling or whatever it is, being quiet and meditating on who is it that I want to be. I've never really taken the time to dream about this because I'm afraid of being disappointed. That's the truth. So the answer is within you, who it is you want to be. Try defining it by thinking of ways that you want to feel and ways that you want to be defined by others. Now, I'm not very concerned about what other people think about you. You need to decide that for yourself because other people think of you whatever their own projection of themselves is. I'm more concerned about saying, how do I want to be remembered? How do I want people to think about me right now? And words will come to you. A lot of women, it's confident, it's healthy, setting a good example, making a difference, successful, fulfilled, passionate.
So
those are just some of them.
Yeah. So do you find that a woman's life generally reflects her identity? And in other words, do you just look around and is it the environment or?
Absolutely. And Remy, just from the interaction that we've had even before this interview, I can tell what kind of a woman you are. You're an uplifting woman. I can tell that you feel good about yourself. You take pride in taking care of yourself. And no, I don't just mean in looking good, which you do, but in taking care of yourself. Women don't really do that. You can tell a lot about a woman by her demeanor, even through emails, by how she presents herself, how she speaks to other people, how she carries herself. So I can look at a woman's life and I can tell what her identity is based on her relationships, whether or not she's broke all the time, if she's healthy or unhealthy. And I didn't say thin or not thin. I said healthy or unhealthy. I deal with a lot of women who look like they're thin and they're unbelievably unhealthy, and that's very dangerous. So your identity is absolutely going to dictate the results that you get in your life, 100%.
Now, as you rattled some of these things off about her demeanor, how she speaks to others, how she carries herself, that all made sense. But then you mentioned, is she broke all the time, which is sort of one of those external factors. So if you find a woman who's broke all the time, are you assuming that she's got an identity issue?
I'm going to assume that she has beliefs about money. And here, let me tell you why. And that's a great example because the demeanor and everything else, that's the way that she is kind of presenting herself to the world. But her relationships and her, let's say her health and the state of her finances, let me give you an example. A woman, and I talk about this in my book, a woman who believes that people with money are greedy. Let's just use that example. I had a client like this, believes that people with money are greedy and also believes that she really doesn't deserve to make a lot of money because of whatever reason. So how she feels about money is that money is bad. And what's interesting is that her decisions about money is that when she has it, she spends more than she has without saving and being conservative. When people need money, she's constantly giving it to them. And it's funny because now the results she's getting is that she's broke, which goes back to the whole, you don't deserve money, people with money are greedy. So your beliefs and your identity are going to dictate the way that you feel, let's even say in a relationship. If you have the identity of someone who is unworthy, and I deal with women the same way, wonderful, beautiful women, and they feel their identity is, I'm unworthy of a relationship where someone takes care of me and is faithful to me. So when they feel that way, who are they attracting? Who are they pushing away? So what are the results that they're getting? It's usually reaffirming that identity of theirs.
So it's almost as if any chronic problem could be related back to identity, whether it's consistency and relationship trouble, or, you meet those people who have one problem after another. You know what? I remember an assistant we had in the office, 20 years ago, who was addicted to Theraflu. You could watch her pull open her desk door and guzzle Theraflu about every 10 minutes. It was crazy. I mean, this was daily. So any chronic signs might indicate either an issue with identity or an issue with beliefs.
Absolutely. And here's the deal is that we all go through ups and downs. You're going to go through relationship breakups. I've told clients of mine, don't set a goal to never gain weight again. Are you ever going to get pregnant? Are you ever going to maybe even have a health issue, maybe even menopause one day where out of nowhere you may put on some weight? Okay, we need to get this under control. So going through ups and downs isn't necessarily that, oh, it's your fault that you are broke. But if consistently you're seeing a pattern in your life that you're going relationship after relationship or addicted to Theraflu, or that your weight keeps going up and down.
Diet after diet, yes.
Broke, right. Well, then something's got to give because everyone in some point in their life usually is broke at some point, even people who started off with money, because you have to learn how to manage your money and those types of things. But if it's consistent over and over, something's going on with your beliefs around it. Now, things don't change overnight. Let's just say with money, and I'm not the money expert, but I noticed in my own life, there was a long period of time, even in the beginning of my marriage, where we were short on cash, where we had to be very conservative. I changed my beliefs about money, but it took some time to build a business that would be successful. So just reaffirming those new beliefs and that new identity that you do deserve it, you are adding value to people's lives. Absolutely.
It's a process.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know of anyone who just made a decision at 2:01 in the afternoon, I deserve money, and it showed up at 2:03.
Never happens. And if it did, then we would all in the whole entire world be successful. Everybody would lose weight. It's not like that. And I believe that it's not that way because you have to work for things. If it's worth it, you have to work for it. You have to give it your all. You have to overcome anything that stands in your way because that makes you who you are. if 5 years ago I changed my identity and I got everything I wished for, I wouldn't be the Katie Humphrey on this interview right now. I wouldn't be able to have as much compassion and empathy as I have for people and my women as I do.
It's so true. I look back at some of my greatest struggles, and, I hate that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I hate it when I'm going through the struggle. Let me just say that. But when I look back on the struggle, I realize that I wouldn't be who I am right now. But boy,
Absolutely.
when you're in the middle of it, whew.
You'll do anything to get out of it,
I know,
because
right?
we will do anything to get out of pain. And certainly,
Yes.
I don't want anyone to struggle, but I remind my women, I just started working with a new woman privately. She's so cute. And we did a lot of this revolutionizing your identity. And I'll talk about that in the next step, what I make you do. And she said, by the end of the call, she said, I knew it wouldn't be instant gratification. And she said, I can give you strategies all day long on losing weight and feeling more confident. But if we don't do this identity piece first, you're either going to self-sabotage or an obstacle is going to come in your way and you're going to want to give up. And then I'm going to have to come to the rescue. I'd rather build you up first, a nice strong foundation, and then the strategies will actually work at least once.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully.
And then some chronic condition may show up, but we hope not. But if it does, at least then we know what to do next, right?
And that's right. And things like chronic conditions, I don't know if you've ever had anything like that, Remy, but I have to say that mine, I tell women, don't let PCOS define you. Don't let it make you a victim, because while I would never wish it on anyone, while it was years of my life, especially after being diagnosed, that I was told you'll never have children, you'll never lose the weight, you have to be on drugs till you hit menopause. And I just refused to listen. And looking back, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have the business, the book, the relationship. I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have made those decisions.
There's that inner rebel showing.
That's right. That's right.
So other than choosing your inner rebel, how do we begin to shift our identity or improve our identity?
So secret number 3 to revolutionize your identity is to create what I call a revolution statement. And I'll literally walk you through some of the steps that I make women do, Remy. And I'm sure this does have NLP influence because I'm into all these programs and books, and this is what's helped me. So whatever area of your life that you're wanting to see a change. Now, in my life, I do it in the different areas. I talk about your health, your relationships, including the one with yourself, your finances/career, because I work with a lot of women who don't necessarily have a job, personal fulfillment, and your spiritual life, the impact you're making on the world. I talk about doing it in those 5 areas, but you can concentrate on 1 or 2 if that's what you want. And what I do is I get you very quiet in a nice, comfortable place position, even if I'm on the phone with a client, and I make her close her eyes, and I make her start telling me a few years down the road what her life looks like. And of course, she'll always tell me, oh, well, I want to lose, hopefully I've lost 20 pounds. I say, no, where is your energy? What do you look like? What are you wearing? How do you feel about yourself? What are you doing? Are you with people? Are you listening to music? And immediately they start rattling off answers. How energetic they are, how confident they are to do X, Y, and Z, how they're wearing this tank top because their arms are so toned, how they're wearing shorts and they're on a beach and hands on their hip and they're smiling, these different things. And I say, okay, so I write down everything they say and I draft it into a story just by looking at their notes. And I say, okay, take a few deep breaths. And I repeat it back to them. They're bullet points, but I turn it into a story. And we're talking in present day. And I say, Remy, you're standing on the beach, smiling, wearing this tank top and shorts, and you're so toned and confident and feel great. I make this whole story and this vision. Then I say, how does that make you feel? Almost 98% of the time, they're tearing up or crying. And they say, that makes me feel, and they have a word. It could be fulfilled, abundant, amazing, whatever it is. And so I write that word at the end. Now we do that in the different areas of their life. And then we create a revolution statement that they repeat to themselves over and over. So it literally, this is the identity that you've decided to make for yourself. Repeating it over and over to yourself, just like people talk about affirmations. That doesn't mean you're not addressing how your life currently is. It means that you're going to address your life how it currently is. But in the meantime, you're going to infiltrate into your body, your mind, your subconscious, your whole being, this new life for yourself. You're telling yourself and declaring, this is who I'm going to be now.
So is it a simple statement such as, I'm an amazing woman, or do you fluff it up a little bit?
I've had people create 2 paragraphs I've had people create a whole, 4 paragraphs, a whole thing, and they just keep repeating it over to themselves. I have one. Mine probably changes every 6 to 8 months, depending on, I feel like my life has moved in that direction. I want something more exciting. And mine's memorized, and it's 3 paragraphs, maybe 2 sentences each paragraph.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, the thing I love about it is it's yours. You're not taking somebody else's affirmations or somebody else's story.
No, and that's the thing. The words have to ring true for you. That's why I repeat back the things that she says to me, because I may use a different word. But if she's not emotionally owning this new statement, this new picture that she's painted, this new identity and vision, then she's not going to feel compelled by it. She's not going to feel motivated. And I have to tell you, the first week one of my clients did this, I said, how did it feel that was your only homework? You had to keep repeating this over and over. And she said, I felt like anything was possible. Whereas my 35 years of my life now, I have felt like, what's wrong with me? Why can't things change? And now I'm seeing all around me, oh, I could do this. I can do anything's possible. It shifts your beliefs and your awareness of what's going to be possible in your life.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other tips? Because there are things like with affirmations, you don't ever want to say, I want $1 million, because then you get to keep wanting it. So do you keep it in the present, I am? You
Always keep it in the present, I am. I read a book called The Moses Code one time that he said, I am are the 2 most powerful statements in the English language. I forget why he said, but I believe it's because you're owning something. Mm-hmm. You're literally saying, this is who I am. And it's, there's a lot of very woo-woo words that define why I am is so powerful, but it's because you're owning it. Now, affirmations, we do have quick little sentences that we say. So let's just say, for instance, you say, I have no control over the foods that I eat. My cravings are out of control. A lot of women feel that way. So we would create a statement that says, I am in control of what I put in my body, and I nourish my body with everything I eat. Something like that. It could be shorter, but it's in the present tense. And we don't usually do anything like that with money. If you want more money in your life, we talk about the lifestyle, because your brain, in my opinion, doesn't register weight that well, doesn't register money that well. It registers the lifestyle that you have now, what you're going to do with that money. And you can say you're going to be at a certain weight, but registering how you're going to feel at that weight, I am happily and healthily at this weight, wearing these clothes at this size. Mm-hmm. That's a little different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't want to say I'm 20 pounds thinner. It needs to be more feeling outcome related, more lifestyle related. Okay.
Lifestyle related and more emotional and compelling, because losing 20 pounds isn't exciting, but feeling amazing and healthy and energetic at 165 pounds sounds, that's different. And it has to ring true for you, the words that you use. Absolutely. I love affirmations too. But the revolution statement is something that is going to make you feel different about the choices that you make. Do you want me to share the 4th secret?
Yes, absolutely. Let me get my pen ready. Go ahead.
Okay. And Remy, you're going to like this one. The 4th secret is taking care of yourself, and I'll define that in a moment. Taking care of yourself is going to make or break the quality of your life and your identity. When I talk about taking care of yourself, I'm not just talking about making sure that you're getting enough sleep and napping during the day. I'm talking about taking out time for yourself every day in what I call a morning adventure, and even in the evening time, that's more nourishing and pampering yourself. The foods that you're eating, I'm telling you, and believe me, I make those. I make really good chocolate chip cookies. My husband's Italian. We love wine, but you can still live your life and enjoy yourself. But be really careful about the foods that you're putting in your body. The majority of the time, they're affecting your confidence levels. They're affecting how you feel about yourself. They literally affect the chemicals in your brain, contributing to feeling good or feeling tired, and let's even say insecure, down, depressed. So taking care of yourself, moving your body, and that doesn't happen. I don't mean on an elliptical or a treadmill. I don't like that. Shifting your energy, stretching, dancing, yoga, anything that you enjoy, Zumba. Doing those things and taking care of yourself, making it a priority, is going to radically improve your life or keep you stuck in the same place and going in that downward spiral. It really will.
Yeah. So what kind of results can a woman expect when she takes on this new identity?
Some of the results, and I'll talk a little bit about the inner results. A woman who's going to revolutionize her identity is going to feel more passionate, more excited. And for the first time in her life, she's going to feel like she's living it, like she's alive, like she's not just wishing and hoping that something would change, dreading this mediocre lifestyle that she settled for. She's going to say, wow, I can't even believe how lucky I am that this is my life. She's going to probably radically improve her health, maybe health conditions she's dealt with, better relationships. She may bring in a better income. And like I said, maybe even start a hobby or a passion or a business or career or profession that makes her feel like she's contributing to the world. I mean, it'll improve every area of her life.
That's amazing. I almost want to sit here and cry. Can I just tell you?
Oh, I love it.
I know, it's just amazing. Okay, good. So number 5?
And number 5 is that support is key.
Yes.
I do not mean a support group, and I don't mean your best friend telling you, this is a great idea, I'll hold you accountable, because your best friend will never hold you accountable that I've seen. I'm talking about looking around and finding people who are living life at a different level, a level that you want to live your life. When I was 19, and this is when the first time I had put on weight, this is before PCOS, this is when I was really struggling into college, well after high school. I discovered my first coach. I discovered my first person and mentor who was going to show me that this is what's possible in your life. Let's help you get it. So that's why I love coaching. I believe in finding mentors and coaches who are living the life that you want to live and are going to help you up-level your life. And surround yourself with colleagues or friends and family who are living the way you want to live too. You don't have to lose your current friends and family, but at least work on putting people in your life who are going to keep pushing and championing you to be the person that you were meant to be. Create this new identity. That's what's going to help you keep it in the long term.
So how do you keep it? Once you create it, how do you keep it and maintain it in the long term?
That's great, Remy. 2 things. Self-care, constant prioritization of taking care of yourself, taking out time, your morning adventure, the nutrition, the shifting your energy. That's number 1. And number 2 is the support. You have to surround yourself with those kind of people. When you do these 2 things, that's going to shift powerfully your identity, what you believe about yourself, how you feel about yourself, the decisions you make, and the results that you get. 100%.
Yeah, it's almost like we were talking about earlier before the call. When you make a decision that you're going to live a new healthy life, you have to change your environment, because if you still have a cabinet full of, let me look at my cabinet, snack check mix.
I'll come over there, Remy.
Yeah, so I can see how important I'm actually I don't, but I have an empty space where they used to be. I had a terrible addiction. But yeah, so I can see your environment has to support you, not just your physical environment, but the people too, if you're going to hang on to that new identity.
And that actually happened to me, Remy, right before I got into a lot of trouble in my 20s. I talk about it in my book, a lot of personal stuff that I had never really shared with people outside of my clients and people who come to work with me. And before the PCOS, I actually had decided to make a change. I decided I didn't want to live that lifestyle and didn't want to party. But guess what? I was still surrounding myself with those people. When I finally decided to make a real change, Remy, I quit my job. I quit my friends, and I still talk to them and I love them, but I quit my friends. I moved in by myself to a place, and that's where I started from scratch.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I have a friend of mine who's a paramedic, and he said when he came out of paramedic school, he had to make some tough choices, because now he's working these incredibly long shifts, and he had to have had to have clarity of mind to be able to deal with these life-threatening situations. And he loved his buddies, from college, but it just wasn't, it was too incongruent. Yeah.
That's right. And here's the thing. People get really scared that they're going to have to give up their friends, and they don't want to disappoint people and upset their friends. Listen, when you bring in those new people, that support I was talking about, you'll automatically have less time to spend with your current friends. But I promise you, your life will be better. You'll be positively impacting those friends, and you'll still see them and spend time with them. It's like the best of both worlds. It really is.
Yeah, I've actually had that experience, because for me, I got stuck in a comfort zone in an organization that I belonged to. And I felt good. I felt like I was on top of the world and superstar of the group. But when I stepped away from it, I saw how much it really had been not holding me back, but just not helping me expand.
That's right.
Because when you're the top of your own group, you see what I mean? How are you going to expand? You're already at the top. So you need a new group to pull you and challenge you into some new endeavors.
Exactly. And I heard that, I don't really know who said this originally, but Tim Ferriss, the author of the 4-Hour Work Week, talks about this, that you're the byproduct, you're the result, and the average of the 6 people you surround yourself with. Jim Rohn said it was the 5 people. But the truth is that look around your finances, the state of your relationships and your health and your identity. You're going to be around people who are doing the same things as you. If you want to uplevel your life, you have to bring new people in as you revolutionize your identity, or you'll go back to the way that you were and you'll lower your standards because you don't want to offend anyone. You don't want to be ostracized or outcast. We don't want that.
Yeah. Because we want to matter in life, and that this is our old comfort zone. This is where we do matter.
That's right.
Yeah, that can be a stretch. So what kind of long-term benefits have you seen from these identity shifts?
Women absolutely taking their health in a direction of, I'm talking ultimate health, optimal health. Forget the weight loss and everything. That's really, again, bonus that we love. But the weight loss is just a byproduct and bonus. Having the kind of health where you don't have to fear health conditions, where you feel you have energy all the time. You're not getting the flu every year. You're at the top of your game. You can't even believe, oh, I was using this excuse before that at my age, women put on weight and their hormones and everything else. I've been through the hormone game, okay? It doesn't matter what your age, what you're going through. You'll experience optimal levels of health because you'll keep going in that direction. It can also positively impact the difference that they make in the world. They usually start businesses or get a job that changes their life, their income levels, relationships that they end up falling into. It's extraordinary what happens to somebody's life when they change that identity. And again, it's not overnight. The way you feel is overnight, but the benefits, they just keep adding up. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. It really is a commitment to who you want to be and who you're supposed to be, who you're meant to be. It really is a commitment. Yeah.
That's right. And you know, Remy, like the work that you're doing in the world and getting back the exclamation point and embrace your inner rebel and break all the rules, actually channeling my rebellious side in a positive way. I know that's why you like it. But these things are benefiting the world in some way. Remy, that's what you were meant to do. And you're meant to do even more. This is what I'm meant to do. And I'm meant to do even more. So there's a purpose that you have in this world. It doesn't have to be doing what we're doing, but it's something. And you owe it to yourself and the world in this one life that you have to figure out what that is. And you cannot do that staying stuck in that same mediocre, low-level identity and surroundings that you have for yourself. You're worth more than that.
And I think we all can really feel when it's time to grow, don't you think? But we just kind of deny it sometimes.
You can tell if you're getting anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
If you're starting to get depressed or sad, it's time for your change. And you've just been too afraid to jump and make that leap, whatever it may be. I have found that even in my own life where I'm getting a little bit antsy, it's because there's something I need to be doing and I'm too afraid to do it. So when you figure out what that is, you just bite the bullet, you do it, and life changes.
I've actually told people that biting and snarling that you hear yourself doing to your, whoever's in your environment is often a value trying to bubble up to the surface. And that value, I found, is most often related to finding your greatness, finding out what you're supposed to do. That's the reason you're biting and snarling at people. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. People think, oh no, it's my kids acting up. Is it? Maybe.
And we attribute it to our hormones. Oh, well, we're just being aggressive. It's our testosterone levels.
Yeah. Well, very good. Do you have any final thoughts you want to leave us with? And of course, we want to hear about your website and where to find out more.
Absolutely. Final thoughts is that don't ever give up on yourself. Never stop until you have found what it is that you want, but start with that change inside of you. And that's why everybody uses that famous Gandhi quote, be the change you wish to see in the world, because you can't get different results until you are willing to do the brave thing and change yourself from the inside out. It's a little bit painful, but not as painful as your life may be right now, right? When you change from the inside out.
That's an understatement.
Yes. Things will shift for you. You'll find that you have so much confidence, so much bravery, and so much spirit that you never knew you had. And when I talk about levels of fulfillment and passion that you will have through the roof, and believe me, that's what I encourage women with. And if you ever want to know more, my website is katiehumphrey.com. That is R-E-Y, no Humphreys, katiehumphrey.com. I do have a new book. It's called Revolution of You, Embrace Your Inner Rebel and Create a Life You Love. I 100% believe in the women who come my way and in my world, and I push them to achieve greatness. I love it.
I love my inner rebel. She's my best friend, actually.
She gets you to do the hard stuff, doesn't she?
That's right. And I didn't actually realize it until this moment, this little tear in my eye. I didn't realize it this moment until I realized she is my best friend. Isn't that funny?
And trust her.
Yeah.
Trust. We don't like to trust that other side of ourselves, the brazen one, the bold one, because she gets us into trouble sometimes.
Yeah, but you grow up at a point and you realize, wait a minute, maybe I can pull her back out. She won't get me in the trouble I was in high school or whatever.
That's right. And you know what, Remy? One final thought on that is that I always tell my husband I was never a good kid in school, constantly in the principal's office. I couldn't learn the standardized testing, so they diagnosed me with ADHD. My mother wouldn't let me take medication.
Yeah.
She said, "Your energy can be put to good use. We can find a way to put it to good use." And she has, And the truth is that if you don't fit into that mold and you feel like busting out of it and rebelling, do it. Don't let anybody kill your spirit because you didn't fit into this little box that we were supposed to fit into when we were younger.
Yeah. As my friend Janet tells me, do it, do it. Oh my God, just do it.
Yes.
If I could tell you how many times she said that to me.
I love it. I love Janet.
Well, I very much enjoyed our time together today and your expertise. And thank you so much for your inspiration and motivation.
You're so welcome, Remy. I appreciate what you're doing in the world. I do.
Thank you. We're going to end the call right here, but stay on the line for me, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.